Glad you brought that up. You had a comment?
Well, just to add to that, just the essentials. What you wanna do is identify what essential needs you are, like the refrigerator, freezers.
Yeah.
And then, if you're running that, it's just producing electricity, and it's not doing it, close, turn it off when you're, every couple hours, turn back on and
There you go.
get the refrigerator.
Yeah.
But, just to add, if you start that up, you connect it to your house, you need to switch the main power off.
Yes.
Okay, because if you don't switch the main power, when the electric people start
Yeah.
working on it, they can get killed because that's backfeeding into the grid. So before you turn that off, shut your main power off.
Okay, so that's really good. Everybody got that?
Yeah.
So really your best source power is what the Lord gave us. It's the sun and the wind, okay? So we have an array of solar panels, all right? And there's kits that you could get for, and I got it when it set out outside there, $170. You could get a solar panel at Harbor Freight Tool. I think it's on there. And you have, with every solar panel, you have to have basically 3 things with it. You have to have what's called, this little box called the controller. That manages the amount of power that comes out of this. You have to, second thing, you have to have what's called a deep cycle battery. A deep cycle is one that it can run without any power and it won't harm the battery. If you run a general, like a car battery with no power for 3 or 4 days, it'll destroy the battery. These will not be destroyed. This is $70 at Harbor Freight Tool, okay? This little battery here. This is a bigger battery. This is $130 with all the hookups at Riley Auto Parts. It's called Deep Cycle Solar Battery. You want to say Deep Cycle? Deep Cycle. Okay. All right, you got it there. All right. So we will show you how to set up solar panels. We are really big on solar panels. We have 30, 35 of our own at the ranch. We'll show you how to do that. We have out access. We buy solar panels that are as good as refurbished panels. In fact, we're going to resell them. We thought about a business selling them because we buy them for $50. We check them all out. We would sell them for $100 as refurbished panels. They'll produce 380 watts per panel, which is a lot of power. Okay, that's a lot of power. So we run 35 of those panels. And then we set up, we have accesses for huge batteries. We have batteries that weigh 140 pounds each, and they will power your entire house with these batteries. And they're like $700 batteries each. We get them for like, I think it's $110. We have some great connection, and they're brand new. Then you gotta, so anyway, you can think about that. We'll get you solar panels if you want to go that way. And so on there.
So the batteries are not related to the solar panels.
What's that?
Batteries are separate, not related to solar panels.
No, you have to have the batteries separate, okay? And all these people that sell you solar panels, they don't sell you batteries, so if the fire goes out, those panels are worthless. Your panels are worthless unless you have a supply of batteries hooked up to those things for emergency. So anyway, so we supply both things, and these are great panels. These are great panels, $50, and I would call them refurbished because we check them all out, we clean them all up. $50, that's a good price if you price solar panels. Okay?
Clayton. Yeah, Clayton.
Question back here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Penny, to add, yes, the batteries are part of the equation. The solar panels generate the electricity, the controller powers the battery stores that power, and then from the power that's being stored in that battery now dictates how long you can power your refrigerator, freezers, whatever. So it's
Stored in the deep cycle.
correct. So you need both of those components.
So
How do you?
if you go online, there are ways that you can make a battery out of one of these 55-gallon barrels. It'll tell you how to do it with electrodes and with powdered carbon in here, and you can make your own battery out of a 55-gallon barrel that'll store power for quite a while.
How do you then use the battery to power your?
The controller is the brains, if you will. It it gets the electricity from the solar panel, stores it into the battery.
And you
And
can
then
plug
you
things
plug
into the
into,
battery.
you plug
the
it into the
control.
controller.
Okay.
So the controller will have an outlet.
Okay, this is called an inverter. So you have to have three things. You got your solar panel, you got a controller. Your controller hooks from the solar panel to the battery, and from your battery it goes to what's called an inverter, and then you plug your 110 volt appliances in there. This is a very small one. It'll probably run a laptop and your cell phones and stuff like that in your car. We have some bigger ones out there. This is about 25 bucks. If you want one that runs like 400 watts, you're looking at about 50 bucks for one of these. You could get all, it should be on that sheet, you could get all this stuff at Harbor Freight Tool, okay? Harbor Freight Tool. And then if you're gonna run your whole house with these, you have to have a real big one of these. We have one that's like 2,000 watts that we use at the ranch. All right, so let's go talk, any questions about electricity? I mean, we have a couple wind generators we're putting up, but that's that'll be at the top of our mountain, and we'll show you how to use the wind power, I guess, at a later date. Is there any questions about solar panels? Yes.
I had to get here a little bit late, I had to take someone home, but, maybe you talked about this, but I've heard there are generators that do not use gasoline at all, that only go by the solar panels.
Yes.
Do you recommend those or not?
I'm so glad you said that. I wanted to mention Pastor Rick, he uses propane, so he has a propane generator. If you can't, you're worried about storing gasoline, you'll pay a couple $100 more for one of these that'll run on propane, and some run on propane and gasoline. Some run on, we have one that runs on diesel. We kind of wore it out, but so anyway, but does that answer your question?
No,
But the
No.
solar panel is a great way to go because you don't have to store gasoline, okay?
Right.
so
But
some don't have gasoline.
yeah, some have, I've heard there are some that
I have
only
one.
run
We're
it
talking
on
about
solar.
generators.
Generators.
Solar powered generators is the question.
Yes.
Solar
Do
powered
you recommend
generators.
those without any gas or propane?
Yeah.
You can go with
So,
solar power, but it just doesn't store as much.
Yeah, we have some small
Okay.
solar powered generators that charge batteries, and I'll show you those in a minute. I wanted to make a comment. Somebody mentioned, if the power goes out, the gas pumps are not gonna work. How many know that?
Yeah.
You're not gonna get gas, it's gonna be fighting the gas line to get the very last drop of gas. So we store gas, we store diesel fuel. I guess I can tell you this. We know where the springs are, okay? Thanks to this guy right here, okay? We don't broadcast where those are, but if we have to have people to survive that don't have water, we know where the hidden springs are in LA County, and we've used those springs before.
Glory.
How about a pool?
What's that?
How about a pool?
A swimming pool? There you go. There's your thing. You want to filter that water?
Well, you have to put something in it to purify it,
Yeah.
but, they say that the chlorine only lasts for so many days
Yeah.
also.
So you had a comment.
Well, a couple, just to answer your people that you were asking about the solar generators. That is what he's talking about, is a solar generator. Solar generator, it's a solution where a box, you have your panels, you have a box that has a controller and the other inverter, all in one. Those are very expensive, they're not worth the money.
So that is a solar
That is a solar
generator. The
generator.
combination of the panels and the converters and the controllers and the battery. That is a solar generator.
And then
Yes.
to answer her question, we have a pool, and what we're doing is we bought the Berkey filter system.
Yep.
You only really need the filter if you because if with the filter, you just create 2 5-gallon buckets to do the same thing. And we did a test, tap water, Brita filter water, and pool water running through